Let's see, what else can I talk about? Oh, there's a few other things I wanted to talk about. First is, I have the Steam controller. I just got it today. I ordered it, and I wanted to give a few impressions about my Steam controller. Hang on. There it is. It's exactly what you think it is. And it looks pretty cool. However, my experience with it has not been overly amazing. Here, I'll turn it on real quick and I'll talk about it. I can use it to move my mouse around. And, I don't know if you can hear that. That's the haptic feedback. Alright, well, it just turned off. Oh, right, I don't have the, USB plugged in. Alright, whatever, I'm not gonna use it. So, the Steam controller. I'm not streaming any more games tonight, so if you're looking for video games, you're probably in the wrong place, sorry. It's late, I wanna go in a few minutes. Steam controller. My voice has been cracking today, I'll tell you why. I've been in the studio today, and we're recording a song. We were practicing a song that had me heavily screaming through like 3 hours of practice, practicing it, and tomorrow we have like 8 hours of recording, so tomorrow night is probably not gonna be a night that I stream, because I barely can speak now, but so anyway, yeah. So I'll talk a little bit about the controller. I played a little bit of Counter-Strike with it. No, not metal, just a heavier song. Just a very heavy song. Oh, this is not even what it looks like anymore. Hang on. Steam controller. Let's put up a picture. Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. Okay, so the controller is not that amazing. I tried playing Counter-Strike with it, which was probably my first mistake. Counter-Strike is a game that requires really precise aiming. And I played for a good half hour with it, and I noticed that it's really, really hard to aim. There's definitely some issues with sensitivity, and I kept trying to, you know, fuck around with the sensitivity, and it just wasn't working for me. It wasn't happening. Eventually I got into somewhat of a rhythm where I could aim near someone and not completely blow it. But that was extra difficult. For a mouse and keyboard, you know, I switched, and then eventually it just felt great. But using that for Counter-Strike, I do not recommend. There's also one thing that's okay is when you hold down the right little pad there, that pad actually is like it detects where your thumb is, and it acts like a trackball or a trackpad. And it's used for what Steam claims, what Valve claims is more precise movement, so you can aim with more accuracy and precision than you would a thumbstick, which I agree with. However, it would take some getting used to, and it's still really sensitive. And if you lower the sensitivity, then you don't have enough sensitivity to turn. So it's kind of hard to get that sweet spot with the controller. And I will fuck around with it more. So this is more initial impressions instead of me just saying it's shit, because it's not. The controller feels good. I really like the way it feels. It's well made. Trigger buttons are good. There's a back trigger with extra buttons. Like you can... like your fingers, your extra limbers actually can press these things, and you have 2 more buttons by doing that, basically. I thought that was a nice touch. I keep hitting them accidentally, though, but I probably won't end up hitting them accidentally. The left pad could be used, I would imagine, for a different type of... I haven't used it yet. I haven't utilized any games. I haven't seen any games that utilized it yet, but I will definitely experiment and find out what that's for, which I would assume is just more precise control. So, yeah, I mean, I tested it with CSGO, but I knew CSGO was going to be the most extreme example because that is a game, again, that requires a lot of precision. Now, I'll tell you what I could see working well with this. A game like Portal 2, maybe even Half-Life 2, if you get good enough with it. A game with lock-on. I could probably have seen the Phantom Pain working okay with that. If the auto-aim, you know, you keep that on and you kind of just figure out how to use the camera control with the right pad. So it's more, I would say, more for casual couch games. I could even see it being used in Fallout. For the VATs would be would be good with it. Voice, please. And basically, I would say that the controller has some distinct advantages over the twin sticks, the double analog sticks, but it has a lot of drawbacks as well. I've been playing Call of Duty a little bit. Like, I played with Mike, and we did not really have a great time with it. And it's just so fucking hard with two thumbsticks to get precision aiming. You know, like, you really got to practice a lot, and you still don't get quite the same amount of control as you would with a mouse and keyboard. The Steam controller aims to bridge that gap, but it doesn't quite feel like it will. I'm sorry to say this, but a thumb is not as... It's just not... You don't get as much control with just your thumb as you would with your entire hand, or your entire arm, using a mouse. So I don't think a mouse is in danger yet. I would also say that the Wii controller, actually, the Wii, you know, Plus or whatever, actually had some decent first-person shooter controls when it was done really, really right. And it was done really right a few times. I would say it goes from mouse and keyboard to that, to the Valve controller with practice, then to dual analog sticks. Of course, personal preference is certainly, you know, that takes precedent, of course, but in my opinion, for the level of precision, for me, it goes in that order. The Valve controller is heavily customizable. Right there in Steam's interface, there are downloadable presets. There are, you know, every option you can change, and it really is very helpful because you can see every control method, every option. You can download community control settings. So say if you're playing a game like Half-Life 2 and you don't like the default setup, instead of having to change every detail, you can actually download a community preset, like the best one that people voted on or whatever, I would imagine. That's kind of cool. I like that. It seems like the controller is becoming more of a part of the Steam experience, which is cool. So I applaud Valve for that. The controller's $50, which is expensive. I mean, it's a new technology, so I get why it's 50, but I don't know if it's worth quite 50. A few other cool little features. So, okay, listen. You hear that? When I quickly move my thumb across the right pad, it kind of sounds like a ball slowing down. That's the simulation of the trackball. So you can use that to, depending on how fast your thumb swipe is how long your mouse will continue moving for. So that's pretty cool. There's another thing too. There's a motion control. I don't know if I mentioned it already. My brain is scattered right now. But there is a motion control where you hold the pad. You hold the right pad with your thumb, and then you could aim the controller, like it's got a gyroscope in it. You can aim it up or down or left or right and side to side, like kind of and back again. And you can basically you can use that to aim. And I have to say that that is used in conjunction with the pad. I could see that with practice actually working fairly well for less precise first-person shooters. Maybe like a Team Fortress 2 type thing, where maybe not if you play sniper, maybe not, but maybe some other classes might work well with that. So you can use the motion controls in conjunction with the trackpad, and that seems to offer you a pretty decent level of precision. Again, practice is needed, but it's there. The option is there. So my official kind of initial impressions, I don't want to say review because I don't really do those. And no one should really put too much credence into anything I say anyway. But I feel like if you want to spend $50 on something, maybe just buy a really good controller for the PC. And if you want new technology, if you want to fuck around with it, it might be worth looking into. If you see yourself adapting to this kind of thing, you could probably, it might work well. But, you know, $50 is a hard sell for something that is still a little bit iffy. I don't want to say it's a swing and a miss, because again, I haven't put enough time into it yet, but initially, it's still a little bit too weird, and it doesn't seem quite precise enough to make it worth it for if you want to replace a mouse and keyboard. If you really, really, really want to sit down on a couch and play more casual games, I think then you might probably enjoy the Steam controller. All the other buttons are solid, and you can actually use the trackpad and the R bumper as a mouse and keyboard. Well, a mouse, basically. So you can sit on your couch and you could watch something from your computer just by using that as an air mouse, basically. Which I would say buy an air mouse. I have one of those, and it has a little keyboard on it, and it's incredibly convenient when I don't feel like getting up. So, yeah, there you go. That's the Steam controller.